Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and I'm down here today to work on getting the rainwater to drain off the top of the property down into the pond so we can keep it as full as possible. I started off and I was about to switch my attachments over. So right now the front of the tractor has pallet forks and it needs a bucket. The rear has the bush hog and it's going to need the tiller and possibly after that the box blade. But then I realized I can actually use the setup that it has right now to get a couple things done first. Number one, the new bridge is in the way. And number two, while I've got this down here, I might as well use the bush hog and knock off anything that's growing up around the edge. You should be able to see that the dye is actually helping, and I think it's got a nice coloration on the pond now, but it's too soon. It's only been about 36 hours since I sprayed the pond lilies, and obviously way too soon to tell on the muck away, but we'll find out in the next week if all those treatments I did worked. But anyway, I'll get this growth knocked down real quick, get everything out of the way, and then we'll start digging a swale. I'm really anxious to get this bridge set in place, but there's still quite a bit of work that has to be done before we get to that point. Alright, so obviously, the swale needs to slope in from both sides, but it also has to slope from one end to the other. So I'm going to set the transit level up down here by the pond and go up to the other end. I'm guessing this swale is going to be 200 foot or more long. I'm gonna go up to the other end and see how much of a drop we have naturally. Hopefully there's enough drop that all we have to do is have the swale be about the same depth all the way down and it'll already flow. I'm not really gonna measure this, but I am gonna step it off so I have a general idea of how long the run is. So this is why you use a transit level, because I would have guessed we had a foot of drop from up there to down here, and it's about 3.5, almost 4 foot of drop. So we do need to kind of grade it, and make sure we don't have any high spots and low spots along the run, but there's no concern at all. And I've had it work out the other way where I thought that I had a lot of drop and I didn't. So it's always good to double check with the transit. If you look up at the top of the screen, you'll see a diagonal dirt stretch coming off of the top corner of the pond. That's the last swale I dug. It wasn't this long, and I didn't make it this wide, but it turned out perfectly, and it's done a really good job. So it gave me kind of a blueprint for how to approach this. So what I'm going to do is just till the dirt up in the width that I want it to be, and then try to scoop all that dirt out with the bucket. And just removing that much material allows me to get down into the swale and start shaping it with the box blade. I thought I had a plan for how I was going to shape this, and like usual, it didn't exactly go the way I thought it would. So my tiller's 5.5 foot wide. I did 3 passes, which gave me a swale about 16 or 17 foot wide. What I was wanting to do is shape this with the bucket from each side by scooping in the way you see here to about the halfway point and angling down as I went. But it was really difficult to do that and match up the grade on each scoop. And also, the bucket was full before I got to the halfway point. So when I tried to do the same thing from the other side, it left a mound right down the middle. So shaping it this way didn't really work. What I had to do was just get the dirt out at this stage of the operation.
The city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kind of miss this place I used to live back home. 'Cause up here it's breakneck, paycheck, rat race. What's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5. Happy with the simple life. Yeah, I ain't here to try to change your mind. I'm trying to save your time, in case you're thinking about breaking out the bucket list. Girl, you can skip this funny business.
So now I'm going to take the tiller and make one pass down the middle so that that center section's even deeper and kind of evened out. Then I'll scoop all that out. Then I think I'll get the box blade and start working up each direction and try to get a decent looking grade on this. All right, so now I have tilled this center section again and scooped up all the loose material there. The result of that is I have 3 different elevations. There's the bottom flat part, and then the sides that are a little lower but sloped, and then the top that's the original ground level. And now if I put the box blade on by straddling and having one wheel in that low spot and one on the middle, and then go up and straddle the other transition, I can grade this all out. That's the plan anyway. I literally made about 30 or 40 passes up and down this trench on the edges and in the middle, just working back and forth to try to get it as smooth as possible. So I'll skip through a lot of that. All right, well, I think this is going to work pretty well. I'll really find out by coming out here while it's raining and then after it rains and see if we have puddles forming through here or if it's all washed down into the pond. The last thing I'd like to check, I know that on this end down here, it's pretty steep drop off right by the pond, and then it flattens out up here. And I know we have a lot of drop from that end to this end, but I want to see how much of a swale I created right here. It's gradual, so it doesn't feel like much, but I bet it's actually going to be more than it looks. So on that side of the swale, the stick's set at 5 foot. We'll check this side. That side is also at 5 foot. Now we'll come to the middle. We are at 6 foot 3 inches right here. So the whole thing is 15 foot wide. So from the outside to the middle would be 7.5 feet. So in 7.5 feet, we're dropping 15 inches. So we're dropping about 2 inches per foot. I think that's steep enough to get the water to fill this and run without making it too hard to still mow across this. So I think we've got rain maybe a little bit tonight, but not much. But then in the next few days, we'll probably have a good rain. But I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'm going to put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.